None of us asked to be here, in this moment, at this time, on this planet. No one wanted to be here, but no one was opposed to it either. We simply didn't have a choice in how our life was created. But we are all here, in this moment, at this time, on the same planet we had no say in becoming a part of. We have the choice to live our lives to the best of our ability, but in reality, the future is unpredictable. What will happen in the next year, month, day, minute, even the very next second is truly up in the air. In retrospect, what was planned out to be a normal day could end up being the best day of your life, or possibly the worst. It's easy to get wrapped up in life. It's easy to sit on our bed, our eyes glued to our phone, and forget the world around us. We're not meant to be here, not like this. Our purpose fills bigger roles than we hold ourselves accountable for. For some of us, it's easy to cast the importance of it all aside. It is said that life can be compared to a mountain. Some say that the climb represents our daily lives, full of struggle and hard work. The summit at the top is the reflection we have when it's over and look back and see how far we've come. Some say that the story ends here, but life isn't just one mountain. Our lives aren't always one way up, or don't necessarily end on a good note with time to reminisce about our experiences. Our lives are rich, complex, full of ups and downs, with their ends unknown. The real life we experience is not just one mountain, but instead a mountain range. Each deep struggle we face in life represents a new mountain that we have to hike to overcome. Throughout the years, we hike many different mountains. Some are as small as a hill, others seem as tall as Everest. Each mountain we climb gives us a new view, a new perspective on how we want to live. The hike starts off with fairly flat ground, which represents the day-to-day events in our lives. Maybe you're running late to work, or there's heavy traffic, or you're just more tired than usual. All of these minute issues seem so important in the moment, but actually aren't in the great scheme of things. You're walking on this easy terrain until you face an incline. However, this time it doesn't stop inclining. Soon enough, you realize that you are no longer walking on flat land, but you are climbing a rather large hill. When we face a struggle in life, acceptance can be hard. We don't ask or plan for bad things to happen to us. They just do. The start of the mountain isn't the easiest part by any means, as some might think. When you first start off, you realize that you're actually hiking for the next few hours, or that you're not as in shape as you were the last time you hiked. Your daily life isn't flatland now, but a constant uphill battle with various setbacks. The terrain keeps getting steeper and steeper, and your legs become tired and worn out. Surrounded by trees, you feel alone and helpless, like you're struggling alone. It is always better to hike with others, to have supporters, people that will help and encourage you to push forward. However, there are still times that you feel like you're going through this alone, despite the people around you. It's always important to remind yourself and your peers that we are not alone. In order for all of us to reach the top, we have to have each other's backs. Sometimes the hardships we face in life consume everything around us. Everyday normalities, such as walking, become difficult. Sometimes we trip and make mistakes. On the mountain, all you can do is stand back up and brush it off. In life, it's harder to pick ourselves back up after we've fallen. It's important to know your limits and when you need a break to take time to focus on yourself. When we reach the marker for the summit, telling us that we've almost reached the top, it's easy to get ahead of ourselves. In hiking, this is known as summit fever, when one pushes oneself too hard to reach the top without taking the time to rest. While this might not be applicable to all of the struggles we encounter in life, it is still important to know your limits. However, when you reach the summit and conquer your struggle, receive that degree, or overcome grief, it is a great relief. To most, the peak is the most beautiful and memorable part of the journey. The view is incredible, the air is crisp and cool, and you are filled with a sense of accomplishment. You did that. After the elation of reaching the top, you must always come back down to everyday life and leave the mountain behind. On the descent, you see how far you've come. You're able to reflect on how you've changed, challenge yourself, and worked for this. You are able to see spots where you were once weak, or tripped and breezed past them. When you reach the bottom of the mountain, you are walking flat land again. You are still alive. Your life didn't end at the summit, and you will have to climb another mountain one day in the mountain range of life. But for now, life is good and back to normal. However, you've changed. You've grown. It had nothing to do with the gear or footwear or the backpacking fads or philosophies of any particular era or even with getting from point A to point B. It had to do with how it felt to be in the wild, with what it was like to walk for miles with no reason other than to witness the accumulation of trees and meadows, mountains and deserts, streams and rocks, rivers and grasses, sunrises and sunsets. The experience was powerful and fundamental. It seemed to me that it had always felt like this to be a human in the wild, and as long as the wild existed, it would always feel this way. Cheryl Strayed, Wild. Life isn't about the end point. If it was, then there would be no purpose to it. Our final end point is death. Life is about the journey we take, about the relationships we make, and about the struggles we face along the way that make us appreciate it. Life is about how we grow through experiences and become a stronger person from the struggles we face. Similarly, hiking isn't about the end point. We can't live at the summit. We can only take in as much as we can before we must come back down. Hiking is about challenging ourselves, immersing ourselves in nature, finding our roots, and grounding ourselves. Our life isn't a single mountain, with the peak on the top being the end. Our life is a mountain range of various sizes and types of mountains. The end of the range isn't in sight. The end of our life is unpredictable, out of sight and out of mind. Our battles will be overcome. We will see growth, and we will learn to love ourselves as much as we should love one another, and as much as nature loves us.